What's up everybody and welcome to our brand new series. We're going to be doing our top Twitch clips of the week, but it's going to be a little bit different than you've seen it in the past. We're going to be breaking down some of the pog or funny clips. You're going to watch the clips, then we're going to break it down in slow motion and give you some special insight into things that players did right or wrong and turn it into coaching, educational, actionable tips that you can take from it and use it into your games while being entertaining at the same time. If you like it, dislike it, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more educational content, definitely go check out GameLeap.com. But enough talking, let's just jump right into it.
I need cover point. I mean monkey.
Someone else, right? Oh, there's a monkey.
Yeah. I wanna this stop! This is bullshit!
We just have to walk.
Bullshit!
Never mind, we're good.
As funny as it is to see Doc rage, let's really break down some things that he did wrong here that is part of the reason why this plan didn't go so successfully. So first thing is, Doc is incredibly paranoid about everything and he's trying to focus on tons of different things at the same time. He notices this Ana here, which is good, but notice how he walks and completely ignores the monkey, first of all. Then secondly, I want to ask you, the audience, why do you think Dr. Disrespect missed those shots here? Do you think it's just because he has terrible aim? The thing that's really important to understand about this clip is that when you're moving, your own movement can mess up your aim. If the target is in a situation where they can't do any damage back to you, aka someone who's flashbang, you never want to be moving because it makes the shot that much harder to execute. Notice how much his crosshair moves in this interaction. Now, let's even talk about another aspect of this clip, which is the ground change. He transverses from slight low ground to high ground by going up these stairs. This movement actually alters his crosshair even more. Between him moving and going from the low ground to the high ground, it's no wonder he missed both the headshots on this Ana, and it ultimately got him killed here. Frankly, if we broke it down even more, he could have just flashed the monkey here, then him and his team could have went after the Ana, and she couldn't have done anything about it. Trying to kill the Ana is fine, but he seemingly tunnel visioned her. He moved through low ground to high ground, and he moved when the enemy Ana was flashbang, when all he had to do was flashbang the target and plant his feet. This is a mixture of a lot of different things here, but the big takeaway that you should understand is when you flashbang a target, or even in other scenarios like taking a flank on a Widowmaker, if people either don't know you're there or they're in a stagnant position, planting your feet and taking your shot is almost always the best, because understand that your own movement can mess up your aim just like it messed up Dr. Disrespect here. We all know that Dr. Disrespect has good mechanical skill. He's proven it in many other games, yet he's still silver. This proves that mechanical skill is really not enough if you don't have a lot of other fundamentals. Mainly Doc's lack of understanding about movement here is what causes him to miss shots in this game. And then lastly, before we move on, we definitely need to point out Ana's really terrible positioning there. I mean, she was literally playing behind their whole team trying to get shots in, and she was firing down the scope. For those of you who don't know, firing down the scope actually leaves a tracer behind the scope that allows you to see where the shot's coming from. If that Ana simply fired from the hip behind this cover, Dr. Disrespect wouldn't have spotted her out at all. So that's really important. She not only was in a terrible position, but she gave her position away like a red flag right to Dr. Disrespect. That's the only reason Dr. Disrespect even knew she was there in the first place and pushed her.
Oh no! Shot! Not like, holy crap! Ooh, not like this. I'm getting lightheaded. Woo!
Wow, that was an incredible shatter by Gig that really actually hard carried the fight. He really alphaed on Super. If only we had a way to watch from Super's perspective so we could get some more insight into this fight. Oh wait.
Go, 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 we can push! Right! Mano!
Oh, they broke my bongo.
I have no shield. Fine, nothing. I got shattered somehow. I have okay, this game sucks. It's because I jumped.
No, Super, it's not because you jumped. It's because you didn't actually block the shatter in time, and I'm going to show you exactly why that's the case. Now, before we get to that, let's first break down this from Super's perspective, all the things that he did wrong, him and his team, and then I'm going to break down all the things that Gig did right in this scenario. So firstly, right off the bat, the person who made the biggest mistake here was actually Rascal. Notice how Rascal didn't actually manage to wall off Gig from retreating. This is very important because if he would have, Super probably could have pushed up, pinned in, and done a lot of damage to this Reinhardt and killed him here. But the fact that Rascal actually didn't get a completely blocking in wall here actually gave Gig the opportunity to escape. Now moving on to the next part, the Diva Bomb does tons of damage to Super's shield, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard for Super to actually play around this scenario. The problem I have here with Super's play is he recklessly tries to shatter the enemy Ryan here due to a pure prediction. This is not really a guaranteed shatter here, and it's extremely risky. On top of that, Super should know that the second his shatter doesn't connect, that Gig is most likely going to try to counter shatter here. It looks to me that Super had this in mind, but unfortunately, he didn't quite execute fast enough. If he was a little bit quicker on the uptake, Gig wouldn't have been able to get the shatter off. Now, that's not to say that Super didn't have it hard from here. His shield was really low, and if he gets the prediction block wrong, his shield's gonna break and he's almost assuredly gonna get shattered. That being said, I think Gig's quick reaction time here and decision making plus shatter intuition is what pushed this through. Let's break it down from Gig's perspective so I can really give you insight into how he pulled this off against such a good Rhine player like Super. Now looking at it back from Gig's perspective, we can see some of the thought process that went into this play, how it was really textbook, really smart, and extremely fast, and let's see if we can learn something to try to replicate it in our games. So firstly, going right off the bat, the first takeaway is that Gig didn't really have that much shield health either, just like Super did. He goes and makes this pin here, but it instantly shields up, and the reason he does this is because he doesn't want to get shattered, of course. Now, let me really slow this down again. Let me really point out something that Gig does a lot, that a lot of different Ryans do, but Gig does it really flawlessly here and puts Super on his toes. So something that you notice in a lot of these scenarios, especially right after Gig pins, right before Gig gets the shatter block, is Gig will often do partial swings and animation cancel them into blocks. This makes reading Gig extremely hard. Look at right after he pins right here in this situation, he swings a little bit, then instantly shields up. Then he goes in, he swings a little bit, and then instantly shields up. The reason he does this is it makes it really hard for Super to actually predict when he's gonna full commit to a swing or when he's simply gonna swing shield. Being able to represent one thing but instantly change it into another means shattering Gig is going to be really hard here. Now, notice the second that he blocks the shatter, he notices that the enemy is slightly split from Super. Super could have potentially blocked this shatter. He would have had to instantly rotate to Gig's left and shield up immediately. Such a fast move would have been extremely hard, and for Super to have executed this, it would have needed to be almost purely based on prediction alone. Now, that's not to say that Super couldn't have done it if he would have thought about what his team was weak to. He definitely needed to close the gap, and he was thinking that in his mind. He just made that decision a split second late. Honestly, in hindsight, Super probably shouldn't have separated himself that far away from his team, because to close that distance is way too hard. If he's playing around the enemy shatter, he knows for a fact that he can't make that much distance between him and his team because it leaves his teammates vulnerable. It can be seen, but perhaps the frustration of getting your shatter blocked in the first place is what caused hesitation in Super, and that's a big takeaway for you in general from this clip. Even if your shatter gets blocked, even if a play doesn't go right for you, you need to instantly be thinking about the next play, especially in a Ryan v Ryan battle. If you shatter first and your shatter gets blocked, you do not have time to hesitate. You do not have time to get mad or get triggered that one thing didn't work or another didn't work. What you have to do is instantly be thinking about what the enemy is going to be doing. You have to instantly be thinking about blocking their shatter, because if your shatter gets blocked, their shatter gets blocked, the fight goes on. But if you allow the frustration to come with your shatter getting blocked to turn into the enemy's opportunity to shatter your whole team, that's where you double fail as a main tank. That's where you allow the enemy to hard carry and pretty much roll your team, and that's where you actually throw the team fight altogether. Now, Super's a great player here, and maybe he wouldn't have made this play in game. Of course, he's on stream, he has tons of notifications and things like that, so nothing against Super here, but breaking down this one singular fight, Gig got the better of him here, and I'm sure that this is something that we all can learn from going forward into our game. Not letting things like messing up a play get the better of us to turn one mistake into a multitude of mistakes going forward. Anyways, all that being said, mad props to Gig here for making this insane play, and thanks to both of them for streaming and giving us this cool interaction to learn from.
Can we engage you guys? Hello? Help, help, help.
Yeah, get in there.
Go, Trisha, go, go, go. Help me, help me.
Lucio. I love you.
It's talking him out. Big! That was crazy. That was crazy. Fresh nuts. You saw it?
Wow, that was an incredible flashy play by Redemption there, where he actually used the car on Oasis to actually jump him all the way over the side of the map to grab the enemy team. Now, I thought that this was really cool, and through breaking it down, I wanted to try to see how hard it was to replicate myself. So I went to Oasis, I went to a training room with Azaria, and I tried to replicate it. And let me show you some of my findings, break it down in slow motion. So the first thing that you need to understand is that the rocket jump is absolutely necessary. You need to rocket jump while you bubble in order to fly right across the wall. Now, the second thing that's really important is the timing has to be absolutely on point. If your timing isn't perfectly on point, if you don't rocket jump the second before the car hits you, you're not going to get enough height. Thirdly, another really important aspect is you need to start walking along the building the second the first car passes, because you need to be as far along the wall as possible, because even if you get over this wall, it flings you back quite a bit, so you need to go immediately. Now, the last thing that you need to really understand is you need to be looking down when you rocket jump. That's the way that I find is the most consistent way to fly high. If you're looking perfectly down. Now, what Redemption does really well, and what you should start doing, is when the car is close to you, you need to understand the time it's going to take for the car to hit you. Instantly look perfectly down, rocket jump perfectly, and you'll fly straight up in the air. You can glide right over the wall. Now, I don't think that this is the most useful thing in the world, but it is really cool, and it'd be really cool to be able to execute this on a fly. You could get some people off guard. It could be kind of a way to make some flashy plays. But after trying for a few times, my biggest mistake in general was the fact that I wasn't looking straight down when I rocket jumped, which is something that you 100% need to be doing if you want more consistent flies. After practicing this for a while, learning all the ways that it was possible, I realized that that's the way to do it the most consistently. Look straight down, bubble jump at the perfect time, right when the car is hitting you. Make sure you pushed enough along the building so where you fly right over the perfect spot, even though you're flying a little bit back, and then you'll consistently be able to make it right across. And yeah, with great power becomes great responsibility. So if you have any progress clips of this, I better see it in the Game Leap Discord. Anyways, if you have any questions about these breakdowns, please let me know. If you agree or disagree with my analyst, I would love to have a conversation with you in the comments down below. As well, if you like this style, I could definitely do this in the future. If you like it, if you dislike it, if you think I can change it in ways, please let me know. We're trying to find a way to make repeatable, fun content for you to see every single week. So just let me know your feedback, and I would love to see it. If you've been hard stuck for several seasons in a row and you're looking for a way out, GameLeap.com's got you covered. We have the highest quality video breakdowns that give you all the knowledge that you need to climb at an insanely fast pace. Do yourself a favor and go check it out. You don't even have to take my word for it. We offer a 10-day money-back guarantee, so come check us out risk-free. What do you got to lose? Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time,